Now I have the camera on. All right. It's Wendy Hernandez. Hello, everybody. Wendy, I'm back. It's been a long day. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, and I wanted to make sure that I shared some stuff with you today. So today I'm going to talk about retaliation as a child custody strategy. And my advice is don't do it. And there's a couple of ways that I frequently see people retaliating in their child custody cases. Um, wow. Hi there. So, anyways, um, one way that I see people retaliating in their child custody cases is by getting orders of protection against the other parent that have no merit, that are not grounded in good faith, and that are actually made in bad faith. And when I have a client who gets an order of protection against him or her that has no basis in fact, then we immediately challenge that order of protection and hopefully beat that order of protection. And when we challenge that order of protection and we beat that order of protection, then when we get to the trial, we use that order of protection that the other party got as evidence that that other party was trying to use was legally abusing my client, was trying to use this order of protection as a sword to gain an advantage in the child custody case, or to harass my client, or to prevent my client from seeing the children. And oftentimes, if a court finds that an order of protection was used with bad intentions or was not grounded in fact, the court could use that in making a determination about what is or is not in the best interest of the children. So I am not saying if there is a real good reason for you to get an order of protection, I'm not telling you don't get one. What I am saying is think carefully before you get one without a good reason, because it really could end up hurting you in the end. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at comments too. Hello, Tenacious Warrior. I've been thinking about you. I'm glad you're still around. Anyways, so yes, don't get orders of protection to retaliate against the other side. If you have questions about whether an order of protection that you're thinking of getting is really going to harm you, you should consult with an attorney in your jurisdiction, wherever you might be, before you get that order of protection. But if you get one that is questionable and it's dismissed, it's thrown out by the court, that really could hurt you if you go to a final trial. The other thing is, and I want to put a banner up because I want to remind you all, anybody who's watching or watches this later tonight, there's a free training tomorrow that I'm giving. The link is in the description. It's on beating child custody overwhelm. So if you are going through a child custody case and you feel overwhelmed, or if you know somebody who is going through a child custody case and could feel overwhelmed and stressed out, tell them to join me at the free training. You have to register. And if you can't make it, there will be a replay for a limited period of time. It's going to be a quick, like, lunchtime training, and hopefully it'll help you. So orders of protection are the first way that I often see people retaliating in child custody cases. Another tool that I see people using to retaliate in child custody cases is by filing complaints with the Department of Child Safety, or with also known as Child Protective Services in some jurisdictions. And I recently had a client who had, it was like the third complaint that his ex, the mother of the child, had filed against him with the Department of Child Safety. And it was just on the eve of my client receiving a couple of months of makeup time that the court had previously ordered he receive, because, again, mother had interfered with his time for a couple of months. So just before he was to get that makeup time, mom went and filed a complaint with the Department of Child Safety. And guess what? The complaint was so serious that DCS cut off time, or cut off contact between my client and his child. He didn't see his child for a period of 4 months. And what ultimately ended up happening is, after an investigation and after lots of waiting, the Department of Child Safety found that the claims against my client were unsubstantiated. And my client and I went to court. He was given not only the makeup time that he had been ordered to receive before, but more makeup time, because mom's complaint had interfered with him receiving makeup time plus some. And not only that, he got more attorney's fees against mother. Now, it's a problem when you're filing complaints with the Department of Child Safety as retaliation or to be vindictive. It really is. And again, if you're feeling like your children are in real danger, I'm not telling you don't file a complaint with the Department of Child Safety. But there could be consequences from you filing that complaint, and you need to talk to an attorney before you do it, especially if you feel that it's questionable, because there could be consequences if you end up at trial and that complaint has been unsubstantiated. And in some cases I've had, actually the case I was just talking about, mother had filed a few complaints against my clients in the past, and they had all been unsubstantiated. And after a while, it kind of starts to put questions in everybody's mind about the person who's filing the complaint. Like, you wonder what's going on with them to make them have this belief that stuff is happening, yet after investigations, there are no findings that a person is harming the child or neglecting the child in any way. So the point is, these tools, orders of protection, and the Department of Child Safety, they exist for a reason. And that is to protect people, that is to protect children. And if you're truly feeling like your child or you need an order of protection to protect yourself or your kids, then get one. But if you're only doing it to harass your ex, to get in the way of your ex's time with the children, or to gain an advantage in your child custody case, really think twice. Because when I see people do this, that is something that I encourage my client to lean on hard when we go to trial. We really hammer that point home. One of the best interest factors that a court has to look at least in Arizona, is what parent is more likely to allow frequent, meaningful, and continuing contact between the parent and or between the child and the other parent. And if you are getting in the way of the other parent having time with the children or the child, then a court may not find this factor to be in your favor, and it really could negatively affect you when it all comes out in the wash. So, like, it's good to see people coming out. It's great to have people joining me for this live stream. It's been a few years since I did live streams, and I have been working and doing my videos. Just posted a new video today on mindset on YouTube. So check that out. It's fun. I have a good video editor who injects some humor and interest into the videos. So check that out if you haven't already. Also, don't forget, there's a training tomorrow on beating child custody overwhelm. I'd love it if you join me, or if anybody you know is going through a child custody case and you think they might be interested, send them the link, and I'd love to see them on the call. Space is limited on the call. And finally, just one final reminder, the best interest checklist. If you haven't already downloaded that checklist, you need to download it now. The link is in the description. The best interest factors are super important in your child custody case. The judge is going to make decisions based on the best interest of the children. And the best interest of the children are determined by the best interest factors. And each state has best interest factors. They may not be exactly the same, but they are similar. So the best interest checklist contains a long, long list. I went through all the states a few years ago and compiled all the potential best interest factors that could apply and put them in this checklist. So take a look at the checklist and figure out what factors could potentially apply to your case. And then that's where you start in preparing your case for the courtroom or for the judge, or to get a settlement. All right. Well, so it is about time for me to wrap it up. And hopefully this little video on retaliation helped you. And I hope that you could hear me this time. And like I said in the earlier video, I'm 4 for 4 this week on doing these short little lives. So I'm going to continue to try to do them. I hope you find them helpful. Thanks for joining me. And until I see you tomorrow, get out there and command the courtroom. Thanks.